podcast is part of the Sports Social Podcast Network.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Christian Moore back to Jack Goodchild on the blue line. He manages to get it wide to Jacob Minter. And Goodchild with the shot! And the Slough Jets are taking the lead on the power play with 23 seconds remaining. And Jack Goodchild is Kane Russell with the shot cross goal. No need for the save from Lorne. And Campbell finds himself on. And it's 3-1 to the Delta Chieftains. They have hit back quickly. Hello and welcome to Zero Pucks Given, the UK Ice Hockey Podcast, hosted by me, Ben Hyde.
And me, Caitlin Northiner.
Hello, Caitlin. Good evening. You all right?
Hello. Yeah, I'm all good. How are you?
I'm very, very good. Thanks for your time, as always, on a lovely Wednesday evening. We're on episode 198. We are part of the Sports Social Podcast Network, which I've got to rephrase myself from last week a little bit. It's now more than 700 podcasts strong, that network, which is astonishing. It was already the biggest podcast network in Europe. I think it's going for world domination, like Pinky and the Brain.
Yes.
Do you get that reference? That might be a little bit out of date for you, that reference.
Oh, I was just saying how it's massive. I don't know what you were on about.
The Pinky and the Brain reference might be a little bit old for you. It was a little cartoon with two little mice. One was really stupid, one was really clever. One was pink, one had a big head. They wanted to take over the world. It was like really random. And then, of course, we are partnered with the Hockey Art Co. Hockey Art Clothing. Mike Giannoni does some pretty wonderful stuff there. It's all really, really good value as well. And you can get 10% off of everything when you use the code ZP10. There is some really, really good stuff out there at the moment. Of course, coming up to the Olympics, which is something that I think we left off our schedule, but we will probably discuss a little bit. It's got sort of individual country designs going on at Hockey Art Co. and some of the stuff, which looks really great. So get over to the socials and the website and check that out. Other than all that, we've got quite a busy show, haven't we?
We have. Schedule is pretty fucking full.
Yeah, I think I would say to everyone, stick with us. I think this is going to be a...
This is going to be a good episode.
Yeah, we tend to be sort of floating around the hour and 10 minutes mark. We might be even a little longer than that today, but it's going to be worth it. We've got an awful lot of stuff to dig at. So updates first. Former guest on this podcast, someone who I think has been really celebrated amongst the hockey community, announced last week that he was going to be stepping down from his role as the chair of the Ice Hockey UK, England Ice Hockey and whatnot, after the historic merger vote took place, where hopefully hockey in Great Britain is all going to come under one umbrella if they can all get that sorted, which is brilliant. But Henry Stalins, who was kind of the mastermind behind all of that, has stepped down. But before stepping down, wanted to give a thanks out to a lot of the independent podcasts and media channels that do things for ice hockey. And in such, you've got a little trip now, haven't you?
Yes, I have. So I'm off to Edinburgh for the GB Games in Feb. Start of Feb, isn't it? I hope so, yeah. 2 weeks away, which is pretty cool, actually. But yeah, I'm going to the GB versus Ukraine game and GB v Slovenia game Thursday and Friday night. It will be the first outing for the jersey. So if any of you are there, please, if you see me, come up to me, say hello, talk to me, whatever. I'll probably be the only one there in a ZPG jersey, so it won't be hard to miss.
I know, we did see a couple of cracking pictures over Christmas of people wearing their Christmas presents.
We did. But yeah, it's given me a little trip, which is like insane to me. But yeah, no, I'm really looking forward to it, and hopefully I'll give you guys a lot of great content.
Yeah, I can't wait to sort of see what you come up with from it. Unfortunately for me, it's fallen on a weekend where I'm actually working in Austria the week after, so trying to squeeze in a little trip to Scotland before that was never going to happen.
Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm not excited for the 7-hour journey there, but...
But no, still, I mean, as you say, with your background and what you were able to get content-wise when you was working with Oxford and what you've been able to do since you've been with us when you've been to live games, I think people can expect some really exciting stuff from those GB games. And will that be your first time seeing GB?
It will be, yeah, it will be. It will be my first time seeing anything higher level than national.
Oh wow, really?
Yeah, so it's pretty big. It's like in my life that's like a massive thing. This is probably the biggest media thing that's happened to me, really.
Oh, wow, that's really cool.
But yeah, no, I'm really excited for it, and honestly, I literally cannot wait.
Yeah, honestly, when Henry messaged me about it, I was like, oh, you know what, I can't do it, but I'm pretty sure I know that Katelin will do it.
Honestly, it's one of them opportunities. I just can't miss it. I just can't.
That's going to be superb. And then obviously so this is episode 198. We haven't actually managed to contact any of our sort of guests that have said that they would come on yet to try and get a guest sorted for this year. So over the next couple of weeks, we will be hitting the magic 200 episode mark, which is mind-blowing to think that from what this started that we've hit 200 episodes in nearly 4 years. But we've kind of had a little bit of a surprise jump on top of it, where we were trying to figure out what to do to sort of celebrate it. But we've been invited to the Essex Podcast Festival, which is happening on February the 22nd. So you've got an incredibly busy February.
I have indeed.
And we'll be recording a live episode in the Cafe Club, or Club Cafe, I think it's called, in Chelmsford on February the 22nd. Time, I don't know as yet, but I will share that as and when we get it. It's a completely free event, but you have to download a free ticket from Eventbrite. So all the links to it and everything, as soon as we've got them, we'll put them out. But yeah, if anyone's available on that Sunday, the February 22nd, we're in Chelmsford. We're going to be recording a live episode talking all about the Cup final, because that's taking place that weekend, talking about the Saturday game and then predicting the Sunday, talking about the news, and possibly talking a little bit about your GB experience as well.
Yeah.
Because hopefully we'll get an episode in before that. But as I said, I'm going to be in Austria the sort of the week before, so hopefully we'll be able to get an episode in, but we don't know.
Hopefully.
So it's just a lot going on, which is all just really exciting.
Yeah. I'm travelling the whole country at the minute, especially with football as well. Honestly, I'm just travelling the whole of Britain, which, I'm really excited to do all this stuff. I wouldn't have it any other way. So yeah.
You did get away with one, actually, because last week we were going to record on a Thursday because you were going to go to Palace Villa, I think it was.
That's right.
But you weren't feeling up to being out in the cold for a couple of hours, so we recorded instead. But you missed a pretty drab 0-0.
Yeah. For how we're playing at the minute, that's probably the best result we've got in weeks. But no, I'm travelling up to Sunderland on Friday. So if I go to any hockey this weekend, and it's on Sunday, I'll be miserable as anything because I'll be knackered and we'll probably have lost.
We have had a little invite come out from Haringey Huskies to go to the second leg of their cup tie.
Oh, halfway.
With the Peterborough Phantoms, but I'm trying to sort of worm my way to say I'm just going to go to pop to Ali Pally for a few hours, babe.
Yeah. Well, like I said, got a 5-hour journey to Sunderland on Friday and then back home on Saturday after the game, so I don't know what I'll be doing Sunday, probably just sleeping.
Wow. So we've got Katelin's going to Team GB to represent ZPG up there, so if you're going there, make sure you keep an eye out for her. We've got the Essex Podcast Festival, where we'll be celebrating hitting 200 episodes by recording a live episode in front of a live audience there. And then coming up a little later in this episode, we are going to talk about the Cardiff Fire, because the shit has hit the fan over the last weekend. Very
dramatic.
Yeah, so we're going to discuss, obviously we'll talk about the results as we go through talking about the results, but there's been a bit of fallout from social media with, obviously we've posted the result, which has been shared by our friends over at 4000 with some comments that were then retracted and then corrected. So we know that Nicky's got his sources, because Nicky's been in the game a long time and he's got an incredibly large following, so Nicky's got good sources. But so we've also got sources. We have the thoughts of the current Cardiff Fire captain, Lewis Stevens, a former guest on here as well. So we will talk about everything that was mentioned in that social media post. We will break it down point by point and give you the evidence behind it all, actually.
From him.
Yeah, literally from the horse's mouth. So
yes, from the horse's mouth. So yeah.
So shall we get to the games then?
Yeah, we might as well.
It was a pretty exciting weekend, actually.
Yeah, fixtures-wise, it's actually really good weekend.
It was a good weekend, yeah. I don't think there was any game in there that you'd think, that won't be a good game.
Yeah, no. When you look at it just point blank, you're like, oh, actually, probably. really good weekend. Like you said, no game in there you think, oh, that'd be boring.
But still quite a surprising one because obviously the Cardiff result, we'll get to that, in due course. But the first game on Saturday, we always go on about how much we love this 5 o'clock face-off down at Solent. It's normally so close between Solent and Invicta. And obviously, neither of us were there, so it could have well been a very close game. Yet penalties were quite close. Shots on goal were not close, really. It was almost 2-1, I think, especially in the first period. But the way that it kind of went there, Solent against Invicta, something's just not sitting with me about it.
Really?
Yeah, it's almost like it's because obviously Solent started really well, then they had that little patch where they didn't do very well when the rink was closed.
Rink was shut,
train, had the odd away game, and then when they eventually came home, then they started playing quite well again. And this considering they've had their a few power play chances throughout the game. Normally, I say on that small ice, they're great on the power play.
Yeah,
the way that they set it up is really, really well, and the way that they move the puck on that small ice on the power play, particularly when you've got Murray sitting back on the point, and that shot comes through.
And it's not exactly unpowerful, is it? No,
and if it doesn't get a tip, to redirect it, it can go in directly. But Invicta took this 3-0.
And short benched, actually.
Yeah, relatively short benched. And like I said, the chances that they had on the power play, six chances, I think, on the power play. But 62 shots to 35 in favour of Invicta is wow.
It sort of just shows that it probably weren't the close game that we probably would expect it to be. I mean, having 62 shots is insane. I mean, whoever was in goal, which was Aaron Taylor, wasn't it, I'm guessing?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, only letting in 3 from 62 is a pretty good game. Well, no, it is a good game. But it's then, what's going wrong with the defence? Why is the defence not blocking them? What was not connecting?
Yeah, I mean, we've praised Invicta, actually, for across the past few weeks because their league form has been terrific. They've really pushed on in the league.
I said it, I think on my very first episode, I was like, people underestimate Invicta. These guys could finish as high as they want to.
Yeah, and we said last week, of course, about that blend of youth and experience they've got. The imports coming this season, Danny Gattenby has settled in really, really well.
Really well, getting points on the board.
For a D-man, he puts good points up as well. I mean, you can see it when you look at the goals, and you see that only the first one, which was after 1:56, has got 1 assist on it.
Yeah.
The other 2 have no assists. That tells me it's scrambles or
literally just
or straight from the face off or something where nothing else. It's not a play.
No.
That's ended up
in
a goal. No, it's not. It's not a place. It's not a set up play. So, I think that would. Unfortunately, so we've got the coach's thoughts are kind of dwindling off because I'm so busy, and I know the guys are so busy as well. So I don't want to, get on them a little or too late or anything to get them in. So we've kind of dwindled off that in a minute. We may bring it back sort of in full flow next season, but it might be a little bit sporadic between now and the end of the season. But I would imagine that Murray's got thoughts on their YouTube channel because that does normally come out after a home game. They do good stuff down there with their YouTube channel, and I can't imagine that he's overly happy about that.
No, he wouldn't be, and he'd be with the coach's thoughts we've got from him all the time. He literally pinpoints every issue there was in the game. He's so honest. So he would say what went wrong and probably why, or if not, asking why it went so wrong.
Yeah, I think, like you say, to put his finger on it, I'm going to have to. I haven't watched actually, so I'll have to go back and I'll have a watch on the thing, on the YouTube channel, and have a listen to what he said about it, because there must have been something fundamentally that did not work that night for that game to go that way. Massive shout to Nikolai Debal, 35-shot shutout on an incredibly hard rink to get a shutout. Not only because of the attacking ferocity of the home team, but just the rink and the surface in general.
Yeah.
So I think, and Nikolai's, I think he got shut out towards the end of December as well.
Yes, I'm pretty sure he did.
I think it was Swindon. I think he did get a shutout against Swindon.
No, I don't think it was Swindon because I think Winterbank was in that night that I was there.
But it was
he did get. I'm sure he did get one.
Yeah, and I'll tell you why I've got Swindon on my mind, because on the Sunday, Nikolai actually played for Swindon.
Played for Swindon, yes.
There was a little short-term loan. I think Ben Clark-Leach hadn't quite returned from GB duty.
Yeah.
I know that Harry Thomas, I think, was still playing juniors away on the Sunday. So, yeah, Nikolai stepped up for the Wildcats too as well. But, yeah, 3-0 for Invicta. That league form, like you say, they are now, I think they're putting that pressure, they're not putting pressure on the top four. They're putting pressure on that team in 5th place, which I think is currently Solent, to say, if you want that, good route in the playoffs and that home tie second, you've got to get past us.
Yeah, like you said, it's not the pressure on the top 3, but we say that they are level points with Streatham at the moment.
Mm.
So, but obviously they've played 3 extra games.
Yeah, they've got games in hand. But as we said last week, and Paints will say exactly the same thing, points on the board are much better than games in hand.
Because you have no idea how them games are going to go.
No idea whatsoever.
But no, I do think 4th is where they will finish, because they are just strong and have been for a while. They haven't really had like a patch of a long patch of time this season where they've been dropping points and dropping results. It's always like if they drop a point, it will be like a week or 2, and then it will be like back to form again. So I do think I'll stick by what I said at the start of the season. I think they can finish 4th easily. And
it's only really the Challenge Cup where they've not played particularly well. To be fair, in games that I had seen, they had played quite well, but just not got the results in the Challenge Cup. So so they took that 3-0 win down at Solent. Danny Gattenby, Luca Pascal and Jacob Ranson, I believe, on the goals there. And that 35-shot shutout for Nikolai Deval. So big up to Nikolai. Speaking of the Challenge Cup, it could have been over in December. It wasn't.
Could have been over in January.
And it's still not.
It's still not.
So, I mean, I know I was again really hoping to get to this game. Didn't make it in the end. It ended up being a massive sellout. The crowd and the atmosphere, as far as I'm told, was electric. These two teams have got history. Not only the rivalry and the history, but the players, Alan Lack, Dylan Dix, lining up against their former side.
Former players, yeah.
And I was following along, and you just I would imagine with the hundreds of Chieftain fans that would have travelled, would have been feeling exactly the same. It's like, just get it over the line. Yeah. They've played really well in the Challenge Cup. Just get it over the line.
Just finish it now.
And it just didn't happen. And
only with 9 seconds to go.
Yeah, and I think even that, I was trying to look at it. I think if they'd have gone to overtime, that would have made it really interesting, because they could have ended up then level on points if Streatham beat Invicta, so it would have gone to head-to-heads, and no one wants to win a cup on head-to-heads, but goal on 10 minutes from Jared Lane, and then Luke Brittle right at the start of the second puts Chieftains 2-0 up. Someone messaged me on I think it was through Facebook, and they said this not over yet.
No.
There's something else in this game, which to be fair, I believed, and I was like, you know what, fair play. There's probably, and then a couple of minutes later, goal from Regan O'Neill, goal from Ollie Baldock, pulled it back to 2-2.
Yeah.
But this is what we've said this in weeks and weeks and weeks. The timings of goals are so important. So important. So that momentum for Streatham, obviously they got that goal in the 10th minute, and then 3 minutes into the second period they get the second.
Mm-hmm.
So that second period from Chelmsford must have been pretty solid after that goal, because it would have been a case of do not concede again.
Yeah. because then it's sort of, well, it's never over, but obviously 3-0, it's harder to get back from.
You're on the chase, aren't you? But then when they come out for the third and Regan O'Neill scores within 50 seconds, big momentum shift.
Yeah.
Then Ollie Baldock gets that, and then it's the, going into the final 10 minutes with 2-2. Obviously, you need the win to win the cup, but you don't want to push too high, too hard. It's a big rink at Streatham. You can get pulled apart quite quickly coming from the back. But then with 10 minutes to go, Alan Lack pops up, makes it 3-2.
Against his former club, which makes it even more interesting.
Yeah, and then Streatham are probably thinking the same thing. We need to win. We are winning, but you can't just sit back in hockey. It's not like football where you can park the bus. You just cannot sit back.
You can't.
And
you can't settle for 3-2.
No, you can't. You can't. Horden Barnes Garner pops up, bang, 3-3, 5 minutes to go. Then, following this along with the Streatham updates and with the Chieftains live scores page on Facebook, which Ryan Belsham, I think, has done that fantastic job on that. When Streatham went empty netted, I was just like, oh, God, I just got a horrible feeling about this. And, I mean, fucking fair play to Streatham and to Pace.
Honestly, I think it's a goal that, it's annoying anyways, but the way it was put in, it's just just why? Just why?
Well, the thing, I mean, the video of the goal, anyone who's seen the, nauseating videos of Zara Gentles from behind the goal where they jump up, they go to the side. You can really tell the excitement through the goal videos, which is terrific. The face-off was won. It kind of ricocheted about for a little bit, and then, when it drops, that's where you want, 3-4 defensemen saying, clear up the rubbish.
Get it out.
Clear the rubbish up at the back door. And I think it was actually under Aidan Doughty that put it in the end. Our post went out saying it was Harvey Stead because that was the original call as to who the goal was, but I think it was Aidan Doughty in the end that got that goal to give it a 4-3 victory to Streatham. So with 9 seconds to go, I would imagine that Cheaton's probably tried to nick the equaliser in the last 9 seconds.
It's just unfortunately just not enough time.
No, and what it does now with the Challenge Cup is it takes it on to the 25th of January, where Streatham will play Invicta, which, to my memory, is in Invicta.
I wouldn't know.
I think it is in Invicta. Basically, if they win, the Challenge Cup is theirs.
Theirs. If they don't.
If they don't, Champs would win it.
Champs would win it, yeah.
Do you really want to win a cup on a night you're not playing?
Not really, but it's at the end of the day, it's silverware.
Yeah.
That's how you've also got to see it, even though it's a bit of a crap way to win it, you have still won it.
Mm.
And I don't think any Chieftains fans will be complaining if they've got silverware on their hands.
No, like I say, I think if it happens that way, I would imagine the next home game the trophy will be presented, and all that. So the fans will get to do that celebration with it. It's a difficult one because obviously the rivalry between the two clubs, they're two of the best teams in this league without doubt.
Yes,
that was an incredibly close game, which, as we've said many a time, you don't tend to get those between the top sides. They tend to almost blow each other out the water.
It's always one really dominant team.
Yeah, but this was tight.
And I think that's just where the cup's on the line, really. I think the whole thing of it could have been over in December, and then it's just the build-up of it, the tension, this is important. These teams want silverware.
Yeah. Yeah, I think particularly for Streatham, because this now gives them the opportunity for silverware, where last year they didn't have any for the first time in a long time.
First time, yeah.
So, and for Chelmsford, it would have been, continuing this run under Cliff where they've taken something every year, be it
every year, yeah,
playoffs,
exactly.
Cup. So, yeah, a real unfortunate one. But yeah, it's gutting. It's gutting. I bet the trip home was a quiet one.
It's just that gut wrenching 9 seconds to go. It's like you literally all you had to do was clear it for 9 seconds. But time is is just ridiculous in hockey. Like, that 9 seconds would have been the longest 9 seconds of them Chelmsford fans' lives.
Yeah. Well, maybe not that night. I was going to say there's actually a different occasion where I think it was playoff semi-finals. I think it was 2022 at Milton Keynes against Bristol Pitbulls, and Chelmsford were 3-1 up with 9 seconds to go, and that game went to OT.
That's what I mean. Time is just like, you cannot say you haven't got enough time, even though 9 seconds probably, isn't enough time to score a goal unless it's a miracle like that. But other than that, like, 9 seconds is a long time, but it's also not in hockey. Like, it's really hard to explain. The hockey fans will understand where I'm coming from.
A fairly relatively quiet night for the officials. Ethan Lane sitting for a roughing and misconduct penalty. Kieran Rayner joining him on that. And then JJ Pitchley and Grant Bartlett sitting at the same time. So actually a really quiet night.
Yeah. I think, again, that's just where the cup's on the line. Discipline, they don't want it high. So just crack on with the game.
So fairly even. 39 shots for Chelmsford, 30 shots on Streatham, 39 shots on Ross Miller. Dominic Ray, former Chelmsford player, backing up Brett Shepherd on the night as well for Streatham. Nice to see. But 4-3 on the night to the Red Hawks. They go marching on now to their game with Invicta on the 25th.
To try and, to finish off the Challenge Cup.
It's all in their hands.
Yes.
We will see. Now, the Vindico on Saturday. Slough have had, obviously, the disciplinary issues,
the bans,
which we'd kind of said hadn't really hindered them other than the game that they lost to Invicta during that, the melee that caused all those suspensions. They did, of course, lose to Chelmsford the week before as well, last week. So a couple of those players came back. To be fair, even a short-handed Slough, you would think would win at Cardiff. And I think, from what I've been told, the last 10 minutes, Smith's constantly rotated lines that were just purely under 18s.
Yes. And I'm not being funny, with the scoreline being what it was, that's the exact thing you have to do. It's like a really tricky game to talk about because, like, a scoreline that, like, just that high it's not really that nice to see, is it? Like, we all go like, oh my God, 18-0, but it's actually just not nice to see because at the end of the day, the uproar it has caused, and obviously people's opinions flying about, the Cardiff lot wouldn't have wanted to lose 18-0, obviously. No one wants to lose at all, but let alone that heavily. But like Nicky said on his retracted post, it's not right for them to be in this league. Well, both teams really. With Slough's talent, they could easily go international. And then Cardiff struggles, they could fit into NHL too. So you're literally getting the top and the bottom of this league, putting them together when they shouldn't really probably be in this league. Yeah,
like you said, if it finished 18-0, and I did see a comment which did make me chuckle, actually. Like I said, I don't think any part of this is funny, and I don't think even a team that's winning 18-0, your own fans don't want to see you win 18-0.
It's boring because, I remember when Oxford won NHL 2 years ago, and there was games where it was like 18-3. It was just boring because it was just like goal after goal after goal. It's like there's nothing new.
No. I mean, when it's all going one way as well, I think if it's going both ways, because I kind of always say that basketball is boring because it's you go up that end, score, you go up that end, score, you go up that end, score. But when it's all going one way, it's just even worse.
Worse, yeah.
The comment that made me chuckle was Connor Redmond shouldn't be scoring 5 goals against anybody.
Yeah, but
big laugh to Captain Connor. I've got a lot of time for Connor Redmond, but I have to agree he shouldn't be scoring 5 goals against anybody.
No, whoever said that is a top quality comment. But yeah, no, it's like it's just crazy. Like, I don't think I've seen a scoreline quite like this in an IHL 1, and if I have, it's been a long time since I have.
And something that kind of flew a little bit under the radar from Cardiff was the loss of Ben Scanners. He's gone to Bristol.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, you've got then Brocken Evans, who's a young upcoming goalkeeper, and Gemma Davis, who's a very capable goalkeeper as well.
Yeah.
They've conceded 9 each in this game. We spoke last week when we were talking about Slough, actually, again, about Rory McGibbon, who played 20 minutes the third period in this game. And when Rory was on the end of Chelmsford giving Slough a bit of a licking, or when he's been in goal where, high scoring game, Rory's got the mental capacity to take it.
Yes.
Whereas I think Brocken is not quite there yet. And I think that's where it's kind of hit the team quite hard, it's the young players trying to accept this. Because if you are paying to watch hockey, you are entitled to an opinion.
Of course you are.
And the guys that have been playing this game for a long time understand that, and they know there's no point rising to an online comment or thing, because people are paying to come and see the game. They've got a right to have an opinion about it. This is why we kind of do what we do, because and this is why we've got comments coming from Lewis Stevens after we've run through the games, because we want to be able to make everybody see it from all sides. Not just one, not just the fans saying, but it's not the Fire fans giving their own team shit for losing 18-0. It comes from everywhere else. Which I think proves, and I think the Cardiff fans that have commented have said, yes, the scoreline is horrendous, but if you were there, you would have actually seen that they did put effort in. Because within hockey, just within any sport really, the scoreline obviously is the result, but it does not define how the game was played. No, because this one kind of flies in the face of that. Bearing in mind, you look at the shot count. The shots, yeah. I think the shot count is 77 to 11. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, to 11, which is that's pretty poor. But then, like I said, that's the levelling of both sides. They're completely polar opposites. Yeah. But yeah, everyone's saying it's a short bench Slough. It isn't. And yes, they have the younger players coming in, but these younger players that play for Spitfires are very well capable to go and play in NIHL 1 teams. Yeah, but they have been. I mean, Carl Bradburn was a massive part of that Slough team that won lots of stuff. Felix Hemmingsmar has played for lots of teams, around in that upper level. Between him and his brother, they're both looking, like they're going to be around for a long time. Yeah, a good level of hockey in this country, which is fantastic to see. So it's the players are there. As you said, the numbers kind of don't look too clever from that. But we'll say after the results, we'll break down that Cardiff weekend a little bit more, which didn't get any better for them on the Sunday, really, when they were beaten 12-3 at Chelmsford. But at least they got the goals. They got the goals, and it was a hat-trick for Josh Paul as well, which is... Yes, which, obviously, another young player, you're going from an 18-0 loss to scoring a hat-trick, your first hat-trick for the club. That's sort of, at least it was a bit uplifting from the night before. A little bit uplifting. A first point for Jakob Barnwell as well. I had to call out England Ice Hockey a little bit online, because they called it a weekend of celebration for the Fire, because Josh Paul got a hat-trick and Jakob Barnwell got his first point. Don't think you're really calling it a weekend of celebration when you did 18-0. And then Tonk 12-3, but still, massive big ups to Josh Paul for... Yeah, individual celebrations, just not... Yeah, just not the sort of the team as a whole. As a whole, yeah. And that would say Brandon Stones took the pipes on that night, 3 goals on 23 shots. Empty netted for 28 seconds there, Chelmsford, which I'm not too sure what that would have been about. Yeah. But, the numbers-wise that Chelmsford are putting up, hat-trick there for Cameron Bartlett. Yeah. Another couple for Grant Bartlett. They're both on hat-trick. 23 now, I think, for the season. Yes, they are. They're level. And a good spread of the goals across the game. I mean, 15 goals. I think, is that a goal every 4 minutes? Don't make me do maths, Ben. I love maths in school. Please don't make me do the maths. But yeah, to be fair, there was there was 2 power plays, Chelmsford scored on them both. You can't ask much more than that.
No.
So the league game's in the bag. It's done. A weekend that I'm sure Cardiff would like to forget.
Yes.
But as we're going to talk about it a little bit more later as well, results are shit, but still exposure-wise, because that's what they need as a club, is that little bit more exposure to then try and create a little bit more funding coming in, people coming in, and then you can start to improve.
Exactly that.
The other games on Sunday
was at the Hanger.
Yeah, I mean, this was a massive improvement for Romford from the last time they went there.
It was, yeah. I mean, yeah, we say obviously 18-0 was a bad result. Obviously, last time Romford were at the Hanger, it was 15-0. So, you know, no one sort of uproared about that. So yeah, but a massive improvement for them. Obviously, you're conceding 10 less. You know, you couldn't really get any worse at the Hanger, could you? Really?
No. But it's, I mean, when you look down the scoring as well, and the link ups between obviously the Seb Moore, Christian Moore, Timo Lindgren, you know, getting amongst the goals. Ollie Hemmings-Mar, 20 goals so far this season. He's been terrific.
Yeah, absolutely amazing.
They're a real force to be reckoned with. I think Slough this year. They've obviously getting that little monkey off their back last year where they won, I think maybe more than they were expecting. When we spoke to Smits at the Steel City Showdown, I remember saying to him, like, is this on schedule for what you thought, or are you slightly ahead of schedule now that you've won the league and, you know, got to the playoff final and whatnot? And he sort of said, no, this is about right. This is what I expected out of these young players, because they've all been trained the same way from, you know, a very young age. That group has been together a long time. Long time,
yeah. And this is exactly what we talk about, is the pathway through. And Slough has got it spot on. So this is sort of what they've been waiting for, is these youngsters to go in with, like, the more experienced lot and working together. And now the youngsters are old enough and just physically just talented enough, they're gonna pull out things like they did last year, pull it out of the bag.
They would say, a 5-0 victory over
Slough
Buccaneers. Like I said, 10 goals better than it was for Romford last time.
Always positive.
Sonny Phillips in the pipes for Romford, and an 11-shot shutout for Rory McGibbon.
Yes. So
a complete shutout weekend for Slough.
Slough, yeah.
So 80 minutes shutout for Rory McGibbon, 40 minutes shutout for Matt Smittle. Really impressive. I remember at the start of last year, I think they didn't concede a goal in their first 4 league games.
Oh, yeah, I think that was the start, yeah.
The final game of last weekend saw a little bit of a dress rehearsal for one of this weekend's semi-finals.
Semi-finals, yeah. We sort of said this was going to be a weird game, because how do you go into this? Because, like you said, it's a dress rehearsal for the Cup semi, so it's like, you obviously you're not going to play the tactics you will on the Cup semi-final. So how do you go into it? So it was always going to be a weird game, but I don't know. I think with Streatham, with this game, with the high that they had on Saturday night, they sort of just took it into the Sunday and just let's play. Yeah,
I agree. And you have to think that because obviously Swindon qualified so early for the Cup semi-final, winning that half of the group, where Streatham finished second in that half of the group, so that first leg is going to be at Streatham on the Saturday night. You would imagine that the plan for Swindon is just be in the game.
Be in the game, yeah.
But when you get back to the link on Sunday, make sure you are still in the game.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's all it is now. Over this weekend, you have to look at it as, 6 periods. Not 2 games, it's 6 periods. And if you get to the end of the third period and you're no longer in the game,
it's done.
It's a nightmare for you. So they've that Sunday night at the link, they've caused teams problems over the past year or so.
They have, yes.
So they've got to use that to their advantage. Streatham looking pretty shit on the penalty kill. 2 short-handed goals out of that 7 that they've bagged at the link.
Yeah.
And Alan Lack, God, has he settled in well there.
Yeah, He's loving it, isn't he?
Yeah, really, really has settled in well, getting amongst the goals, getting amongst the assists. Look, he's fitted in terrifically. So quite shrewd by Streatham, actually. They're not only have they, slightly weakened one of their competitors, they've made themselves an awful lot stronger.
Stronger, yeah. And we've said before, Alan Lack as a player, he's just everywhere. Like you said, he's that annoying bee at the barbecue. He's just absolutely everywhere. And just on it, always giving 100%, always giving 100%. So you like you said, not only have they made Chelmsford weaker, but they've made themselves a whole lot stronger. Yeah,
Jake Williams netting the only goal for Swindon, his 11th goal of the season. He's still having a really, really good year. And I think that's kind of, next week when they go into that Cup semi-final, they've got to look to Jake Williams and to Jay Warren, Jan Kostel, junior and senior, they're both years, to sort of say, like, you've got to, if you all play well, we've got a chance, but everyone's got to play well.
Everyone, it has to be a team effort.
Absolutely. But they'll look to those guys that have been standout performers so far this season. But everybody's got to play really well. But I think it will be a really entertaining pair of semi-finals.
Yeah, so do I. I think both fixtures will be really good.
So it was Owen Crowe was backing up Nikolai Deval, 7 goals on 51 shots on his little loan from Invicta. And Brett Shepherd, 1 goal on 18 shots for Brett that night, being backed up by Dylan Phillips on the Sunday, so a weekend off for Danny Milton. Little look into the fixtures then before we get into the Cardiff Fire thing. There is, outside of the Cup semi-finals, there is one fixture.
One league.
So we'll leave that towards the end. So the semi-finals, Solent Devils versus Slough Jets, 5 p.m, Planet Ice Gosport. This is actually a rerun of the semi-final from last year.
Yes, it is.
Which I was one of the only people that predicted that Solent would win. I remember it vividly. I was doing, I think I just recorded. I was in Future Ventura staying at my mum and dad's for a week.
Oh, lovely. Nice fun, isn't it?
And I just recorded with Callum Perella-Fox. And we spoke about the Cup semi-final and everything going on. And then I did like an Instagram live as I was walking down to the pub because we were doing pub quiz or having a curry, one of the two, something like that. And I said, I think Jets will win the league, but I think Solent are going to knock them out of the Cup. Called it. So Solent against Slough, 5 o'clock at Planet Ice Gosport, and the return, of course, on Sunday at the Hangar is a 5:45 face-off. And then, as we were just previously talking about, the Streatham Redhawks, they will host the Swindon Wildcats 5:30 p.m. at the High Road and 6:30 p.m. at the Link on Sunday. But the other league game is 8th against 7th down at the Sapphire.
This is the sort of game where you sort of looked at the start of the season and said, these games are important now. But, I mean, this is obviously Cardiff's best chance at any point. But, again, just the gap and obviously everything that is going on with Cardiff, there's going to be massive distractions, like just in the team as a whole. Like I said, everything just going on. It's just one of them. You've got to go into it and just play hockey as best as you can. This is a game where, from a Cardiff point of view, you've got to go into it. Forget about everything that's happened the weekend prior, everything that's going on, what we're going to talk about. Just go in there and try and get a point. Take it to overtime, because getting points on the board now is important, because Romford have slipped away these last few weeks.
Yeah, their form has improved, but they've been playing the teams above them.
Yes.
So that chance for them to get points has been limited. So, yeah. Speaking then on Cardiff Fire, obviously they were defeated 18-0 by the Slough Jets at home. That prompted, obviously we posted the results on our little result sheets that go out after the games, which thanks for the tag for the guys at 4,000 and Counting. They reshared that picture of ours of that result, and sort of, and Nicky went for the throat. And I've listened to Nicky's live that he did this week, and he kind of admitted he was at the Dresden game, the open air game in Germany. He'd been drinking probably wasn't the best time to
Probably wasn't the best time to post about it, but no, he didn't beat round the bush, put it that way.
No, and he did later retract calling out the players' pride. Which, fair enough, he's owned up to his own shit. And
because a lot of people don't, so fair play.
Yeah, so that's... And I agree with his retraction, because I don't think, as you said, you can never call out the players' pride, because the amount of commitment that these guys have to put in to play for Cardiff, I mean, amongst all the other teams, to play for Cardiff, where virtually every game is an away game.
Every game, yeah.
Because there's not loads of the lads that actually live in Cardiff.
No.
Maybe half of them.
So literally every game, because as well, like you said, half the guys don't live in Cardiff, so even a home game is an away game.
No. But on the retraction post, there was a few points made where, obviously, as we said right at the start of the episode, Nicky has sources. Former players had contacted him about it. So we've spoken to current players. Shep was not in a position to comment at the moment. Ellis Shepherd, I know that there's some meetings and stuff ongoing. I would expect some sort of statement out of Cardiff Fire before the week is out. But we have spoken to Lewis Stevens, the Cardiff captain. We were on the phone for quite a while the other morning speaking about it, because it's just what's going on at that club is not right.
No, it's not. And it's all behind the scenes. If Nicky hadn't posted any of this, then it would still be going on, and it does need to be called out because it is wrong.
I think, as you say, Nicky posting it has definitely brought it to the attention. We would definitely have discussed it this week because, as we've said on previous episodes, we don't pick on one club or just bias to the others.
Pick on what is going on.
If it's going on, we're going to talk about it and we'll dig to the bottom of it. But this has brought up some things that have been proven correct both from Nicky's sources and from ours. So, I was deciding whether to read verbatim because we've had quite a long comment from Lewis with regarding everything that's been going on, and basically some of the things was the points that had been made. So paying to play at NHL 1 level. This is true at Cardiff. Unless players can source their own sponsorship, the cost is around £600 for the season, which includes the registration fee. Players also paying for their own travel. The Cardiff Fire bus is not owned by the club, it's the equipment managers. £20 they pay for an away game, normally only a £5 or a £10 for Swindon, but that's obviously only one away game, everything else is a lot further away. Obviously they'll be going to Romford this weekend, which is one of the furthest ones they can go really, apart from Chelmsford and Invicta. The tracksuits that the guys put off ice, they pay for them themselves. The equipment isn't provided, only the jerseys and the socks. This is NHL 1 hockey. This is the third tier of UK hockey. It's semi-pro. This is not good enough.
No, it isn't. It's actually disgusting. Just like even NHL 2 teams do better than this. Just like owners, governors, whatever, like whoever is in charge is not doing it correctly.
No,
at all.
And this is how we've always said UK hockey was always a snake eating its own tail. It needs to back away from that now. But no one in UK hockey, probably outside of the Elite League, you can maybe argue for a little bit in the National League with the way some of the clubs are set up. I know 3 or 4 of them are owned by one person, so that kind of makes it a little bit different. No one should be making obscene amounts of money out of this. Break even. That should be the target, is to break even. Because it's for the love of the game and to keep the game going. So whatever they're doing in Cardiff, whether they're not getting enough sponsors or they're not getting enough out of their sponsors to actually maintain their level, for me, that's got to be an actual rule of the league. You are NIHL 1. Your players should not be buying their own sticks. They should not be paying to have their own skates sharpened. You should be supplying all of this. You should be giving them a tracksuit, a training jersey, the stuff for them to play for your club.
I mean, paying to play is insane on its own, and that shows the dedication of these guys, because
absolutely
it shows the love and actually the pride that they do have to play ice hockey, not just for Cardiff but just for ice hockey in general. But no one should be having to spend this amount of money, because it's not a cheap sport to be in. Because obviously we're not saying pay for every single part of their kit. That's obviously not feasible. But the basics of just getting jerseys and socks and all like the little things that everyone would forget about on a game day, like just simple things like toolboxes, something like that. It's not there for them to use. So it's like, how do these guys afford it? And it does show how much love they have to play this sport. Absolutely.
And there's, people have said, they're in the wrong league. They shouldn't be in an NHL 1 if they can't compete at that level. They should be in an NHL 2. Personally, for me, I think it all needs restructuring.
Yes.
Because the gaps in the divisions are too much. We're losing well, we're not losing. To be fair, we're gaining, being fans of the third tier. We're gaining really good players from the national division because they can't commit to the schedule of having to go to Scotland on a Friday night or wherever like that. So I actually think that the whole thing needs restructuring from national down.
Down, yeah.
But Lewis does go on to say when they were in the NHL 2, they knew the jump from 2 to 1 was huge. But they beat Lee Valley 17-0 a couple of years ago in NHL 2. And, he said that, there was never this uproar about it.
Yeah.
So they know what it's like to be on both sides. They know it's not really fun to win 17-0 as much as it is not fun to lose 18-0.
Yeah.
So he disagrees that a lot of the NIHL 2 sides would beat them. He still thinks that the guys are good enough for that. But but he goes on to say that the restructure is obviously not down to him. He's just a player in the league who's captaining his side and doing so with the utmost pride and commitment, as we know. So that's the one that kind of upset a lot of the players, which Nicky retracted when he said about he tackled their pride.
Pride, yeah.
It's since been retracted, so the guys are okay.
Yeah.
It's been retracted, but that's the one they wanted to make sure was not good.
Yeah, I think Nicky knew he said wrong, because it's not the players at all. And as everyone's as he's looked into it, as we've looked into it, it sort of proves that it's not the players that is the issue. It's whoever's running the club.
Yeah, the only point that Lewis does really disagree with is the talented players being forced out. So that no players have been forced out. People have clashed over the years, and then people have left off their own backs, and other people have left due to changing commitments. But there may be players in the team that were happy to see the back off, and some that they weren't. So I don't think that the atmosphere in the room or anything like that is forcing players out. I just think the way that the club is operating is potentially forcing people out.
Yeah.
Because they want to play for Cardiff. It might be their home team. They want to play for the Cardiff Fire. But if they've got to pay upwards, 600 plus a year to play
every season,
and that's going to show. I mean, to be fair, I don't know the pay structure of all the other clubs. Why should I? It's their own business. No one should really know who's being paid what. But
no one should be paying to play.
No, not at this level. I don't really think at NIHL 2 they should be paying to play, because people are paying to come and watch you.
Exactly. And this is all going back to the whole break-even point. I think a lot of clubs now are just worried about making this profit because they're seeing other teams do it. And it's not the right way to go about it, because it upsets players like it has done at Cardiff, because people are leaving. And again, going back, it's not the players that are falling out with players. It's the way the club is being run. Yeah,
I think, like you say, the level of commitment that's shown to play at this level, any level really, even down to rec. Some of these guys might have to travel 2 hours for a 10 o'clock face-off.
Yeah.
At night, to play rec hockey. The commitment required in this sport is unbelievable.
And it's most weekends, especially at this level, it is basically every weekend.
Mm.
And then that's the thing. I'm glad the whole pride comment was retracted, because obviously the proof of paying to play shows the pride, because they're they're choosing to do this. Because I know a lot of players would probably say, nah, I'm not doing that. I'll go find another club.
Yeah.
So it's not the players, like we keep saying. It's just the whole club needs sort of looking at the way it's being run, and hopefully that gets it sorted and settled, and we can see Cardiff Fire to go on to bigger and better things.
Yeah, I mean, when we spoke on the phone, Lewis and I, we'd kind of said that at the start of the season, when the two teams dropped out, obviously Oxford and MK dropped down, that kind of left Cardiff almost sitting bottom anyway, because they finished 8th last year. It was only MK and Oxford that were below them. So I know when DJ Dave Howes came on at the start of the season to preview the season, he hoped it would be a really good season. Lewis came on and said to us that their target was 6th, so they could try and make their way up and make a little bit of progress on last season. I know they've lost a couple of players throughout the season, which has not been ideal. They've lost a couple to the Canucks as well, which is that's a real sore point to people in Cardiff.
Yeah.
And this is where we spoke a couple of weeks ago about pathway.
Pathway, yeah.
People in Cardiff need to fucking sort it out.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? You've got a pro side playing out there in the Elite League, and then you've got an NIHL 1 team and you've got an NIHL 2 team. From what I understand, it's $6,000 a season to play for the Canucks because of the program that it is. It's similar to like the Okanagan Academy that was happening a few years ago. So, you know, kids are not going to be able to pay that every year.
Every year, no.
And then they're going to improve, so they're going to step up. But then where they're going to go? Then they've got. But then the Fire and the Canucks are not working together.
Not working together, yeah. And this is the issue of the same teams, like the same cities teams not working together. This is where the issues lay within most clubs, and the clubs that are below and higher than them in the same rink. This is the issue, because I think there is no issue between the Devils and the Canucks. It's just Fire are like the odd one out of the 3.
Yeah.
That's how I'm viewing it, as someone that obviously has no idea how that's being run at the moment, obviously from other than what we've heard. But that is how I think a lot of people see it as well.
Well, you've got, I mean, there's history of multiple clubs playing out at the same rinks, obviously, because we're limited on rinks in this country.
Yeah.
There's 3 playing out in Sheffield. You've got the Steel Dogs in the National League, the Scimitars in the North 1, and then the Sutton Sting in North 2. Scimitars actually the only club, I think, left in the country not to get a point so far this year.
Oh, crikey.
Which, they might not have been tanked 18-0, but they still don't have a point.
Yeah.
I don't see anyone really giving them the same shit that Cardiff are getting.
And that's what I was saying earlier about how, Romford never had this uproar. But I think it's just the build-up of players leaving, the points that are on the board. Like, it's actually just a shame to see a club turn this way, because no one wants to see a club being run down like this.
No, absolutely, and it's full of good people, good hockey people, as well, that would just want to see the club in the basic sense. They just want to see the club exist.
Yeah,
they're aware they probably can't thrive at this level. No, they just don't have the players in the area where they can get enough players from close enough space, and obviously because they're not paying them, because they're paying to play. The good players are just not going to do that. So at this level, they're just existing.
That is literally it. They're literally surviving it.
Yeah. Which is not conducive to improvement.
No. And that's when, what I was saying earlier when we were talking about the result, that's the difference. You're seeing this side paying to play. Not many players are going to want to do that. And then they're facing a Slough side which could easily go and compete in national.
Well, I don't know about easily, but
I reckon they give it a good go. Yeah.
I mean, a lot of the guys have had 2 ways recently where they've done okay. So I think as a whole, it would work. As I said earlier, I think that the structure
needs to fully,
I think it needs to fully change, and I think the National League needs the conference. And I think it needs to happen sooner rather than later, because I think that's the best way. And keep the import level as it is, because it is proven. I mean, and I'm not a massive fan of having huge import levels. I think it's too high in the Elite League. it needs to come down. But it's proven that British players that play with and against imported players improve quickly. They improve a lot better than they do just playing against themselves.
Yes, of course they do.
Because the skill level is so much higher. So, the clubs in the National League, in National One, communicate with the American colleges, with the Canadian colleges, put programs in place where their college players can come and play here for a year to get some more experience and then go back.
Yeah.
There's things that could be put in place, and if you would have to move some teams around. I have an example. I'm more than happy to be shot down, and people say I'm talking shit. I don't know what I'm talking about, and because obviously I don't watch the National League anyway. I watch National One. So for me, I think you'd split it into a National North and a National South. Two leagues of 8 teams. You play each other 4 times, 2 home, 2 away. And then when you get to the playoffs, that's when you can cross over. Similar to the Steel City Showdown, but you do it earlier. So when you get to the playoffs, the winner of the North plays the 8th team from the South. Or you just do the top 4. So the winner of the North plays the 4th team in the South. The winner in the South plays the 4th team from the North.
Vice versa.
Yeah, so that way you get that mix and you get an eventual national champion from playoffs. And you could even do like they do now where the North One, South One team play against each other, the winners, which was a really cracking game, I think, between Slough and Billingham last year.
Billingham, yeah.
So in the North, you'd have Leeds Knights, Hull Seahawks, Solway Sharks, Blackburn Hawks, Telford Tigers, Sheffield Steel Dogs. I think Edinburgh Capitals probably come down. And Billingham Stars are probably the only other team in the North that would be able to step up there. They're having a mare this season.
They're not.
Quite. To be fair, I've listened along to the Starcast as well. It's a bit salty. I know they're having a bit of a mare, but they're all a bit salty this year. So, and then in the South, I think a really competitive division in the South of Bristol Pitbulls, Swindon Wildcats, Chelmsford Chieftains, MK Lightning, Peterborough Phantoms, Romford Raiders, Basingstoke Bison and Slough Jets. And I think that's really competitive. Yeah. Then the guys are not travelling obscene amounts of miles on Fridays and Saturday nights.
You'll also see the national worth players being back in the National League because, like you said, we're seeing too many national worthy players in LAHL 1. So the people that are trying to improve are struggling because they're going against these players that are just way too good to be in this league.
Yeah, and people may notice that they're from my national South. I have omitted the Streatham Redhawks.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, you have.
Yeah. Now, obviously, they are good enough to be in that level.
Yes.
But they are based in virtually central London. It's, for me, to play up at that level where if you have 4, possibly 5 imports, it is impossible to house them, get them
in
working
London,
in London.
It's just too expensive. Yeah,
I know a lot of the guys that play for Streatham don't live in London, but then you have extra costs with the thing. So potentially yes. Streatham Redhawks in there, possibly Romford Raiders come down to a South 1 and the Buccaneers drop to a South 2. Obviously Raiders, I know, have had a bit of a tough time. Some of the guys I spoke to at Romford when I was up there a couple of weeks ago said they wouldn't be surprised if Raiders did drop down because it's been a bit of a tough season for them. But yeah, as I said, if I'm talking shit, I'm talking shit. But that for me...
No, I agree with you. I think that is... If it was to happen that way, obviously, it probably wouldn't happen the exact way you put it. But I do think that just the restructuring needs to be done.
Yeah, and to have a national league, obviously you've got the Elite League covering the whole British Isles. To have the National League just below it's terrific. It's a terrific thing to have. What I've caught of it is thoroughly entertaining. The fan bases are terrific. But the players just cannot commit. They've got lives, they've got families. Some of them are on decent money, but it's not enough to be pro.
To live, yeah.
So it needs to break somewhere. And I don't see the harm in having it conferenced. It's, the NHL is conferenced. I know they all play each other, but it's still done in their in the conferences. And that the money over there is obscene. So, yeah, if you agree, let us know if you agree. If you disagree and there's a different way of doing it, then please let us know. Because, as we said, something needs to change. We don't want to see teams being dumped 18-0. We don't want to see dumpster fire clubs just rocking their way down the divisions because they can't compete. We don't want to see great players not being able to play at our second or first tier because they can't commit to the travel schedule.
Traveling, yeah.
So if you can, that for me is how you get a proper pathway to the elite league, because the GB national team is not being picked from the national.
Mm-hmm.
Kieran Brown, Hazeldine, they might get a little look in every now and again. It's all being picked from the elite. So the way to get our GB players up there is make our divisions in the pyramid more competitive. Have the good imports in there. This is why I say get linked up with some of the American colleges. I'm not saying about our players going over there and playing, because the ones that do obviously do very well, but it isn't for everybody. But get those good imports over here for a year, and everyone will learn so much. So much more, because just the the quality out there is just completely different to what it is over here. Yeah, or if if you've got the opportunity and you're a British player, but you're not getting the competitive thing in here, and you go to Germany. The levels in Germany are terrific. In obviously the Dell is top level, but the second and the third tier in Germany, the fans are insane, the atmospheres are insane. You've witnessed it yourself, haven't you? The teams that are great to play. There's lower levels in other countries that our British players could maybe even go get a bit more experience and then come back here to play at a high level. So it's just out of love. I just want to see the games good. I just want to see the game. Yeah. I don't, like you said, no one wants to see teams being done like that. No one does. Because it's not just the scoreline. There's underlying issues, which has obviously been proved, but it's just a scoreline like that just proves there is issues. So, it's sort of like gone from like an 18-0 scoreline to like the bigger picture, because there's so much wrong. Yeah, and that's where now that all the hockey in Britain comes under one umbrella after that historic vote, where they can't allow that to happen. No. They need to say to Cardiff Fire, you can't operate this way. No. You must change it. You have to change it. Do you need help to change it? We can give you help. We can give you help, organisation. And that's it's a give and take. It has to be a give and take. All the time. And from what we've heard, Cardiff Fire just seem to take. They need to give. And if they haven't got enough to give, then get some help. Ask for help. Ask the organisation. Try and get a bigger sponsor, because you don't want a club going out of existence for non-hockey reasons. You don't want a club going out of existence anyway. At all, yeah. But when it comes down to poor management, that's even worse. It's worse, because you're fighting your own battle, really. Yeah. And I just feel for the people involved, because the guys clearly want to play for Cardiff Fire. Yeah, paying that much, they clearly take a lot of pride, and they do want to play. They otherwise they wouldn't be paying that amount of money. No, absolutely. That's so point blank straight. Yeah, big up to everyone in Cardiff. Yes. And if we've said anything that's wrong and you want to correct it, then please reach out. Please do, yes. Yeah, let us know. Or if you agree with what we're saying, again, just let us know, because interaction is how we grow. We're doing everything. Yeah, we're doing everything to try and help the game grow. We need interaction as well to help us grow, so we can keep the word out there of hockey in the UK, which has had a lot of exposure over the last couple of years. It obviously has grown really, really well. We're awaiting now January 17th to see whether there's going to be NHL hockey on ITV4. We don't know whether it was really true. We'll just wait and see. It was fantastic, actually, to see the... I know, look, a few weeks ago, we had a little bit of a rant out, or me personally, I probably had a bit of a rant out about Chelmsford and the lack of social media stuff that comes out. It has upped since then, which is terrific. The stuff there's been more stuff coming out. It's been really good. And there was some of their content that came on there, which is not original. I won't give them full credit for original, because I have seen it elsewhere before, that was shared by Bardown on Instagram, which has got hundreds of thousands of followers across thing, of Brandon Stones telling James Buckley that he's a goalie and then make it look like it's crazy. It's a fantastic little skit. If you haven't seen it on there, it's brilliant. But absolutely brilliant. So, a little bit ranty in the end. Yeah, towards the end. But I think for all the right reasons, though, we're not having a go at the wrong people. We're ranting to the people to make things right. I think, and something that I've heard on a lot of other hockey podcasts that we haven't done at all this week is we haven't mugged the refs off.
No.
But to be fair, that's because neither me and you have been at a game in a couple of weeks.
No, we haven't. Well, I did go to a game, but it weren't an
Oh yeah, you went to Peterborough, didn't you?
Yeah, I went to Peterborough v Rising. I had no hockey. Well, the thing was, I was going to make my way to Streatham Chelmsford. Found out tickets online were sold out, and I didn't fancy making the 2-hour journey to South London, which I make pretty much every weekend of my life anyways, to then be turned away. And then Solent Invicta was also sold out, and the only other game was the Cardiff Slough game, so I didn't really fancy travelling to Cardiff. So I thought, do you know what? Let me ask about, and some of my friends were going to the Rising game, so I thought, oh, can I come along? And they said yes, so there I was.
It was a good game in the end.
It was a really good game, a lot better than I expected. I mean, Rising Stars were very short-benched.
Peterborough side are good as well. They were good.
Very, very good. But I'll tell you what, Rising gave it their all. I think they had 12 plus 2, but the scoreline wouldn't have done it. Kayla Paul had an amazing game, as per usual. But yeah, no, it was a really good game of hockey. The NIHL 2 is just so competitive, and I actually do think it's been more exciting than NIHL 1, I do have to admit.
Yeah, no, can't argue. Well, we will be back next week dissecting the Cup semi-finals and who's going to be in the final.
We will be.
Amazing stuff. Thanks for your time,
Brilliant. Mate. Yeah, you too. See you next week.
See you next week.
This podcast is part of the Sports Social Podcast Network.